like the habit, cause the cop can never stop it. And you imagine not the topic, we know you can't rock it. Well shit, the topic is that none of you niggas can stop it. And we gonna do it, you know we went through it. And here's a tries to prove it. If you listen to the music, then you're sure to get it better. It's the hat trick and the dragon, and we doing it together.
Do it together, do it forever. Bust grand M, period rhymes. Finish building your rhymes. Get in line first, what it's worth, get it all. Did it first, niggas man, stick with thirst. Hit them bad, till it hurt, pick the land, pick the turf. Fuck is up, getting this work. I stay on my bullshit, eating niggas food, bitch, I'm in the mood. While I'm like swallowing Quaaludes, bet they want that shit, better forfeit. And forklift niggas like I'm throwing them off cliffs. It's all horse shit, banging niggas like warships. She want the daiquiri while I'm allowing her forces. Frostbit, out here acting like they important. You off niggas, get to accepting your laws quick. Abort this, under the plot of God as your lordship. Fuck how you funny niggas looking like you an ostrich. Beat niggas tell you looks severely assaulted. The cost is whatever niggas want us to boss kid.
Hey yo, come on, what you doing? What you doing, dude? Why you trying to stop my shit, son? The fuck's up, son? Stop doing that shit, son. Word, son, stop doing that shit. Fuck that.
This is the story of Max. At some point, humans started to spot patterns, to make connections, to count, and to order the world around them. People needed to count and measure.
Yeah, check it. 1 for Fibonacci, 2 for Hippasus, 3 for the fourth Hilbert problem of mathematics. It's 5 theorems, 6 corners, 7 prime numbers, 8 pre-dynastic studies of now floodings, 9 Pythagoreans faithfully tracking the orbits with 10 decimals, threaded numerical from the Babylonian degrees, sections conceptual, calculating seconds, minutes of arcs, sexagesimal, cuneiform carved testament to geometric views of Mesopotamian pre-Hellenistic intellectual fuel, reciprocal pairs, true place value system 2 in clay tablets, Plimpton 322, finding lines in rhyme papyrus inscription as the torch of math force is formed by Egyptians, likely copied from the Middle Kingdom with arithmetic, primes, area equations in pyramids. Mathematics then passes to the Academy of Athens as the Greek speak Egyptian priests beliefs in their own language with axioms. To get to a figure of depth truth, the Hellenic mathematicians insist on the concept of proof. While Pythagoreans coined the very term mathematics, Thales is held as the first person to actually practice it. The Pythagoras cult believed in math with such passionate wonder that they drowned a member for discovering irrational numbers. Next came the Central Academy of Plato. Eudoxus brought us exhaustion, integration, and ratio. Plato himself discussed breadthless lengths and foundations. Aristotle analyzed the significance of logical statements. In the Library of Alexandria, Euclid resided with the flame of enlightenment, but only half his writings survived it. Then Archimedes calculated the value of pi with preciseness and contributed to advanced mechanical devices. The golden age of the Greeks reaches its silver stage and eventually begins to scribble notation on its last pages. But other nations are faithful to mathematical continuations while Europe falls deep into the dark ages of mathematics.
Pure mathematics. Fractions. There you go. To push the subject forward. Explore the solar system without ever having to leave the surface of the Earth. Pure mathematics. Fractions. To push the subject forward. Explore the solar system without ever having to leave the surface of the Earth. To do mathematics, sometimes you just need to remove all distractions to float off into a world of shapes and patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is how I do it.
Yeah, it's one universal law, but two sides to every symmetry. 300 BC, oldest surviving Chinese geometry. Forerunner rod system probably used for notation. The 5th century unprecedented pi calculation. Beyond the 6 figures to 7 decimal characters, 8 pages, 9 chapters of mathematical art on an abacus. 10 parameters as traders on travels reach the Indus Valley to see the translation of Sanskrit grammar in India. A singular philosophical inner property makes leaps and bounds in the invention of trigonometry, in engineering and astronomy. But what's clear though is the extraordinary exploring of infinity and zero. And while Europe chokes under the yoke of the Catholic vision, new numbers had arisen called the Hindu-Arabic system, which coincided with the rise of Islamic scholastic tradition, exemplified by the work of the nascent House of Wisdom. Algorithms, reduction, balancing, transposition, parabolas, many the contributions alongside algebra, decimal point spheres, clear prototypes of calculus, calendars, parallels, frequency, and cryptanalysis. Islamic mathematics eventually fell stagnant around the 15th century, but finally reversing their backwardness, European scholars were sure that natural natural order in the plan of God could be found within numbers. And that's the moment when the travels by say, as they seek out specific scientific Arabic texts. Steadily we witness the awakening of passion as the key world theories are translated to Latin, all for mathematics.
Pure mathematics. Fractions. To push the subject forward. Explore the solar system without ever having to leave the surface of the Earth. Pure mathematics. Fraction. To push the subject forward. Many rank the Indian system of counting as one of the greatest intellectual innovations of all time, developing into the closest thing you could call a universal language. Mathematics. You're only 2, 3 before. Well, here comes the really exciting.
Yeah, 1,000 years of silence before 1202, when Fibonacci finally showed Europe it could actually produce some new ideas beyond belief in 3 deities that had held it back intellectually since the 4th century. Eventually, it was economics and commerce that drove Renaissance algebra to calculate the dollars. Meanwhile, increased demand for navigation resurrected trigonometry for accurate map making. Then suddenly, the quicksilver from the granite had arisen. Galileo observed the movement of the planetary system, and while he succumbed to the Roman Inquisition, there was no stopping the inexorable honor roll of wisdom. Perspective flagellated Christ in the same art. The link of algebra and geometry is discovered by Descartes, Kepler, Fermat, Huygens with his time clicks. The battle of the calculus of Newton and Leibniz. Pascal, the Bernoullis, Leonard Euler with Pion. The equations of Gauss, the primes of Riemann. All the way to the year 1900, when Hilbert posed 23 unresolved problems. At this point in the action, we delved into abstractions, exploring infinity in Cantor's grid of fractions. Nevertheless, the task of all these intellectual passionates continues in the fundamental search for passions, using these universal numerical languages to devise solutions to problems with systematic analysis. And as we cling onto the spinning apple that the planet is, we can't help but feel awed at the mad dramatics of mathematics.
Pure mathematics. Fractions. To push the subject forward. Explore the solar system without ever having to leave the surface of the Earth. Pure mathematics. Fractions. To push the subject forward. Poetry, with its rhyming structure and rhythmic patterns, resonates quite strongly with constructing a logical mathematical proof.
Tired and confused. Are you running from the west? Your heart and soul abused, yeah. Does your mind need a rest now? Well, I wouldn't cry, it might make a flood now. And I don't know if I can swim that good. I wouldn't cry, it might make a flood now. Well, I don't know if I can swim that good. I've been lonely, when I stop to think about you. So I don't stop, I just keep on. I try to keep my head above the blue, yeah. But down here in Rome, I've been longing to go home now. The last train is gone, and the lost bird has flown, yeah. Well, I wouldn't cry, it might make a flood now. And I don't know if I can swim that through. But I wouldn't cry, it might make up blood now. Well, I don't know if I can swim that through. I've been lonely, only, yeah. When I stop to think about you, so I don't stop, I just keep going, trying to keep my head above these blows. I've been lonely, yeah. When I stop to think about you, so I don't stop, just keep on, trying to keep my head above these blues.
Thank you, bro.